Firefighter 1 class, I was able to don all my gear as well as the SCBA and have air flowing within 1 minute and 30 seconds. These are the steps and methods that I used. The first thing I put on was my pants, and my pants were already, the boots were already into the pants. So I just stepped into those. After the pants were on, I went directly to my knees. Everything else here was put on in a kneeling position. I had all my gear laid out in a half circle. The next thing I put on was my hood. The top of the hood faced me with the opening facing upward. So I'd take the hood, put that onto my head, and I don't have a mask, but if I did, it would have been directly under the hood, because that was the next piece that I would put on, would be the mask. And I would tighten the straps on the mask once it was on my head, taking the hood, wrapping it around the mask. The next piece of gear that I would put on would be my jacket. The collars of my jacket were folded outward. What I did was I crossed my hands, making an X. And my right hand going over here, left hand going in the opposite armhole. So I'll still have the X. What I'll do is I'll take the jacket and wrap it around my head. Pushing my arms out. After that, zipping up the jacket. And Velcroing it. The next piece of gear on the list was the SCBA. I would turn on the air of the SCBA first. And if I did not do that, that meant that I would have to turn on the air by taking my arm and bending it behind my back and trying to twist my fingers, turning it on. That was much more difficult. So I'd always turn on the SCBA first, and the top of the SCBA would always be facing me. So all I had to do was grab both sides of the SCBA, lift it up over my head, put my arms through, and lower it slowly onto my back, and then tighten it once it was there. I would take the regulator from the SCBA, place that into my mask, make it a quarter turn, which would lock it into place, and then breathe it in, which would start the air flowing throughout the SCBA. The next thing was my helmet, which the front of it was facing me, so I could just pick it up, grabbing it with both hands, put it on my head, taking this chin strap, clipping it into place, tightening it, Velcroing it, tighten it in the back if needed. And then there was this flap that went around the back of it and on the sides. Now just flip down, giving myself extra protection. The last thing I would don would be my gloves, because once these are on, it makes everything more difficult to put on. Rising to my feet, done.